Abyssal Reef, aka Oceanborn, spawning in the bottom right position. It is playing all the way from South Korea, playing on Team Abydos. The Zerg player in the red, it is DRG.
Tingles, apparently.
Oh, Team sorry.
Yeah, Abydos disbanded, unfortunately. As over here in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, coming down from the land of Korea as well. We have our blue Protoss player coming down and representing Team Envy, but I'm not sure how that arrangement works out, but I hear he is looking for opportunities. We have our blue Protoss player, Creator, representing Team Envy in-game at the very least, with that clan tag.
So here's info
Maybe he's
fairy.
representing.
Firstly, Abydos was apparently a team created for World Team League specifically. That's why it's no longer a thing. And secondly, yeah, creator is on Club NV, and as far as we know, they support him. In what way, we do not know exactly. Like if it's like, you know, full contract and all, but he is fully on Club NV.
Yeah, it's confidential information that we're not privy to, and till something happens, till we find out more, we'll just say he is on Team/Club Envy.
Oh my god. I feel like I've never been good when it comes to team player team names, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've just never been good.
No excuses. It's never been good. That's okay. Speaking of never good, we have got an unnatural natural taken again.
Yeah.
And a bit of annoyingness here by the probe's got minerals. That's like the best feeling of Zerg when you see the probes taking the minerals, they can't like harass you anymore.
Oh, and they can't like mess up your mining.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's like, haha, you messed up the timing. You were supposed to pull away 1 second earlier. Yeah, you should have pulled out.
I don't know if it was, I think someone was telling me Lambo and somebody else was talking about every time it forces a drone away, you lose 5 minerals. I think, is that how it goes? I don't want to say anything because then they'll start doing it more. Oh, good kind of block here.
Yeah, nice active microing with this probe from Creator. In the end, will be chased away by the Lings, and DRG will be able to throw down that third base not too far, not too much later than is normal.
Yeah, if there was only 3 Lings there, you can throw down a pylon, and pylon it won't die by the time the adept gets there, but because DRG had 6 Lings, I guess he just kind of played it safe and just kind of go out there with the probe. 2 adepts now here. It's going to be interesting to see how DRG deals with this. He's got 4 Zerglings in the main. The Queen does push those adepts back, which means he can focus all the attention in the main. And Creator actually finishing the Shade here, which I'm not the hugest fan of.
Yeah, he saw an opportunity to get a couple of drones, but in the end he will lose 2 adepts for 3 drones, which not quite isn't quite enough drones to really make the investment worthwhile.
Yeah, and we did see this Oracle was scouted by the Overlord just outside the natural there. Is going to get this third base. Going to look around for some drones. Going to see if any drones are transferring. DRG is playing very smart, however. Oh, actually going to dive here and get a couple. Again, a little bit risky by Creator, but does take that advantage there with the Spore Coil not yet finished. A lot of queens kind of out here for DRG already. He's got 5 queens.
Yeah, I feel like Nightmare may have broken him a little bit. As DRG, as you said, is playing very, very safe in game number 1 at the very least.
Yeah, and we do see our third base scouted by DRGs. We know that everything's going to standard so far. These adepts are going to come forward. 2 more adepts, and sometimes this is pretty it's going to catch the Zerg off guard, right? Because you kill the 2 adepts and you think there's no way he's going to send more in. In this case, he does send more in. You don't make any Zerglings to prepare for it. But now Oracle's in the main. Going to get a couple more drones. Just barely going to get rid of that Oracle safely.
Yeah, Creator has to be very, very careful now, as one of those Oracles is literally on 10 HP remaining.
It's okay. He's got shields. The shields will come back. You know what needs shields? Ultralisks. I think that'll be fair.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100. I mean, not fair, but
Balanced.
balanced. Yeah. I mean, why does Protoss get shields but we don't get shields?
Yeah. I feel like Ultras need shields, and they also need an upgrade that allows them to regenerate faster, like roaches, when they burrow.
Yes, and they need that upgrade from the campaign that the Thors had, that when they like died, they could like
Ooh.
in the middle of the map they just like have a little timer until they come back.
Yeah, like they get put into stasis for a second.
Exactly.
And they can move while burrowed, and if there are units on top of them while burrowed, they get like shaked around. Doesn't do any damage, but they just shake.
You should just win the game when you get an Ultralisk. Now, that's what kind of happens at the moment now, right? At least for Stone. I don't know if they're very good versus Protoss, but I digress. A couple more gateways coming down. Mortal production. War Prism 2 signifies we could have a bit of attack coming in. The gases aren't taken yet at the third base here, so I'm expecting some sort of pressure on the third here from Creator, and here we go, moving out right now.
Yeah, with a little force of Adepts, Sentries, and Immortal. Warp Prism going to be meeting this army as they move across the map. A little bit of an interesting variant of the Soul Train, I've got to say. I'm not used to Adepts being the meat of the train.
Yeah, it's really kind of a strange timing here. Decent timing as he comes in. Force fields are available. Does lose one Oracle right off the bat, but this is kind of meant to capitalize on when Zerg's trying to drone their fourth base, and Creator's going to get straight up on in and get on top of these queens, and this could be a bit of trouble here for DRG.
Yeah, beautiful force fields coming down. There's only one Ravager, only two Ravagers on the ground right now, so like you said, there's a huge opening right now that Creator is taking full advantage of. This third base is in a lot of trouble. Creator doing a really good job of isolating these Ravagers, dodging the Biles as well. He doesn't have Blink, but who needs Blink when you can juggle? GG is called Creator. Gonna be taking a very quick game number 1.
Yeah, well, that was a very that was a really good kind of timing there from Creator. Well, I guess I will just kind of say, you know, it's not completely unscoutable. If you send a Zergling in and you see that the gases aren't taken or there's no more probe production, it gives you a bit more kind of time to react. But it was so pinned back by the oracles and trying to deal with them that it just kind of you know, just kind of snuck in there. And that was a really well executed. It looks like a fun build too by Creator.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, we do have to also point out, Yaku, that there was a few drones lost early on to the Adepts and the Oracles. That also was a bit of a factor there.
Yeah, you know, you get that domino effect, you get that knock-on, just like knocks on. I guess it sounds more like a slap, so yeah, that knock-on.
Oh no, lights here. It's over for us.
Get down the door.
What are you doing to my organization, Puppy? You're ruining it.
What slang are you teaching the viewers?
Oh my god. But yes, here we go.
It's not been authorized.
Ceviche, Puppy. We got to use the
Ooh.
light. What is Light's favorite puppy? Aye. What does he say?
Puppy? Aye.
Surely there's something. He casts for like 20 hours a day for a week straight. Surely there's something he says.
Yeah, surely there's some kind of like, you know, default pattern.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. Anyway, next map is called
Look.
Is it Hekati? Hekashi? Hecate? What do you call this map?
I just call it Hecate.
Hecate.
But apparently it's Greek, so the pronunciation might be... My pronunciation might be a little bit off.
Hold on, I got this. I'm going to Google Translate. I'll give you the explanation.
Oh.
It is said... Oh wait, hold on.
Take your time.
Hecate.
Hecate.
According to Mrs. Google Translate voice.
Mrs.
I've got the
My
girl
dreams are
voice.
crushed.
Oh, Mrs. Oh, I'm sorry.
My dreams are crushed. I was too late.
Yeah, mine's crushed as well. I'm sorry, Koro. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're spawning in, guys. We're getting into Hecate. This is a very interesting looking map, isn't it? It's very purple.
Yeah, very purple. I normally when I see a map that's fully purple, my first immediate thought is this is a map made by Maras. But I would have to double check. I know there's one purple map in the current map pool that isn't made by Maras. It might be Hecate. Well, speaking of
Hecate.
Hecate, that's
we
the
go.
map that. Yep. Oh, go ahead.
I gotta go first because
Yes.
otherwise, I'll forget that Abydos isn't his team anymore.
Ah,
So,
I already forgot that.
so spawning in the bottom left position of Hecate. He last represented Abydos. Thank you, Knowledge Fairy. It is a Korean Zerg play 0-3 versus Protoss today. Hopefully he can get a bit more kind of form going, a bit more comfortable. It is the Korean Zerg player DRG.
And spawning over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of Hecate. We, of course, have our blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea, representing Team Team Club Envy. We have Creator.
I probably shouldn't have said anything. I kind of ruined it, didn't I?
Look, if it wasn't that, something else was going to creep into
There
my
would have
brain.
been something else.
Yeah.
That's okay. Here we are. We have got another unnatural natural, but this time it's not the triangle. It is the high ground horizontal base. Check that out, Yaku.
Huh. That's not a triangle. That's a line. That's not three lines. That's one line.
It is one line. It's not a triangle. And the probe being very annoying. You know, DG's probably already lost like 500 minerals, unfortunately. But actually, you know, you just got to take that as a Zerg play. You just got to react better. Spawning pool finished. Again, one little slight variation you might see from Zergs is they keep on gas until they get 100, and then they get their wing speed immediately when their base gets blocked like this. There we go, taking all three out. On the other side of the map, we see Stargate going down, and a little interesting there. I believe. Actually, let me check the VOD. Or let me check the stream. I believe. Oh no, we have no delay.
Memories.
I believe Creator kind of
No.
started the he started the warp gate and we cancelled it and built the Stargate and then restarted the warp gate.
Yeah, that tracks with my memory as well. Take with that as you will, but yeah, Stargate definitely starting to dominate a little bit more in the PvZ meta. I'm not surprised Creator is putting his own spin on it with Oracles as well. Went triple Oracle last game, and you know, there's also a lot of opportunities for Oracles to really come in and clean house. Interestingly enough, though, Creator this time did grab a safety stalker, which I believe was absent in game number 1. He just focused a lot more on getting adepts and just trying to really apply pressure on DRG as early as possible.
He certainly did, and by certainly did, I mean yes, he certainly did not build a safety stalker beforehand. I feel like I feel like the stalker's more going to be just for denying scouting, as we do see the Oracle being banked up in the main. Not too sure if he's taking a bit of a punt here because he thinks he fooled him with the warp gate not being being delayed. But it looks like we are going to see a couple of Oracles come out first. He does know there's an Overlord towards the south, so he may probably send them out to the left past the natural. We'll have to see. But yeah.
Yeah. As for the time being, we're seeing a little bit of a different dynamic compared to game number 1. DRG actually did keep a couple of lings outside of Creator's base, wants to just keep him honest, wants to just, as much as possible, prevent a third base from coming up.
Creator with a pretty hefty supply block there too. Just getting unfinished now.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate here for Creator. That's kind of the strength of hiding your 3 Oracles, is that you keep them together, and then you go for a huge surprise when you get all three of them at once. Now Creator is delaying that a little bit. He will be moving across the map with 2 oracles, which is enough to start one-shotting drones, but isn't really enough to give you that extra safety against something like spore crawlers, which, funnily enough, there are no spore crawlers in the main.
Yeah, and this actually worked out really well for Creator. On the other hand here, we've got these Lings. There's no shield battery finish, but yeah, no spores. Another couple drones going at third. Meanwhile, the third of Creator looks like it may get taken out too. That is a lot of Zerglings, but this actually worked out really well for Creator, I want to say, even though he's going to be able to save the third too.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, everything worked out really well for him, as you said. I was, worried about that third Oracle not meeting up with the rest of them, but in the end, it helped him save his third. So everything worked out. Really good force field usage as well, and use of the choke point here with the Adepts for Creator. So yeah, this has been a not great opening for DRG, to say the least. He's lost 9 drones, and Creator has lost basically nothing, and he's going to be on an even base count with the Zerg opponent very, very shortly.
Yeah, I want to say, as we see a Robo being thrown down, I want to say that DRG kind of took the bait there with the opener, because he made some Banelings. Against Stargate openers, you don't really need Banelings because there's not the infrastructure to build enough ground units. And then he also skipped the Spore in the main base, even though he had one of the natural on the third. But pretty good moves there by Creator. He took out 9 probes. As we see Oracles coming in again, they will be able to get a couple as they just fire them down. It's just the tax, the Zerg tax, so the opponent going Oracle. But it looks like, again, we're just going to have to see from Creator if he takes the gases or if he stops probe production. It looks like at the moment he's stopped probe production altogether. So expect maybe, there we go, gas being taken now. I was going to say, expect another timing coming in from Creator, but he still might be doing it. Depends if he gets a Warp Prism or Immortal from this robotics bay facility.
Warp Prism coming down. Blink already about halfway done. Everything is shaping up to be a very potent +1 blink timing, which should work out pretty well against these roaches. Infestation Pit thrown down here for DRG, which does make things a little bit scary for the Zerg player. There's going to be a pretty big window of opportunity here for that Creator can take advantage of. But if DRG survives, he is going to be in a beautiful position. He's going to be so far ahead when it comes to tech that Creator will have a lot of catching up to do.
He will indeed. As we see that move out here from Creator, keeping those 3 Oracles alive is going to make this push even more potent. There is a decent Queen account at this 5. Probably better have a couple more against 3 Oracles. A Spore Crawler is coming down this 4th base too, but we see the gases coming down too. Hive on the way. DRG wants to head towards the late game, but hold that thought. There is a force of Stalkers and Sentries outside his doorstep.
Yeah, just hammering down that 4th base. Only 3 Ravagers in position right now, and they already popped the Biles. Not a single force field has been used just yet, so good on Creator for kind of forcing out or baiting out a lot of these Biles to be used before they really need to. Great dodging as well, great blinks backwards. Actually hasn't connected with a single Bile just yet.
Yeah, there we go for Bile, taking out a full energy sentry there. A couple of force fields coming down now. I'd like to see him kind of drop those force fields right on the edge, but he just can't retreat away from. But this base is in a little bit of trouble here. DRG can't lose this because only 3 base versus 3 base here just fall apart. I'd even pull the drones here, to be honest, but I don't know if you'll have enough either way.
Yeah, on the flip side of this, though, it is also super important for Creator to take out this 4th, which he does, because he has not been probing at all. He stopped at 66 probes, and he has absolutely no plans to get a 4th base. Warp Prism does get piled down, but that's still a pretty hefty Stalker count for Creator.
It certainly is, as we see the Ravager force field keeping 1 Stalker back at least. But yeah, this is a scary army, and Creator's going to lose at least 4 Ravagers, is he? Or is this going to time out?
Body blocking.
Yeah.
Now, 1 poor Stalker was caught in the middle of the stasis, but yeah, really nice positioning. Takes out 4 Ravagers for free, as you pointed out, and now Creator has done what he needed to do in the early game. He knows that he needs to work on transition right now. I feel like getting a 4th base would still be worth it for Creator, but at least he's getting his tech up and running.
Yeah, and this it's a good move here going into lurkers. When you're kind of behind an economy, gas is something that you kind of is a little less punishing when you have less bases. You have less lava, so you want to make efficient units that are high cost. So I don't mind the lurker kind of transition. As we see, as Ling Run by just get caught across the map as well. But with Colossus coming out too, and with the siege capability and the range on those units, it's gonna be really tricky to secure a fourth base and then a fifth base. We see a fourth already coming down for Kratos on his side of the map.
Yeah, and it's time for DRG to try to reciprocate the damage from earlier on. Kratos' army is not in position, so he will be forced to cancel that. Oracle's doing a really good job of clearing out these Ravagers, but the damage has been done, and like you said, this is now the time for DRG to start clearing out his Ravagers, because he wants to clean up supply for his Lurkers. 2 Colossus taken out basically for free. That is such a painful loss right here for Creator.
That was Chad. That was sick. But yeah, I'm not sure if these Oracles are back. They're being so cost efficient. This is listen to Protoss players. Keep your Oracles alive, especially versus Zerg. They do so much. But the trades aren't apart from those Colossus. The trades aren't fantastic for DRG, but it does give him breathing room to get these lurkers down the other side of the map.
Yeah, these are losses that DRG is kind of forced to sustain. Like you said, it's buying him time. It's distracting Creator in the middle of his 4th base transition, so it gives him time to build up his own force of lurkers, and arguably more importantly, now he actually has supply to build his lurkers.
Yeah, I like to call this the Crimson way of playing. Crimson, my teammate, where you just kind of like send all your units across the map and do run-bys, and then eventually you just die because you have no army and your opponent's got a huge army but no probes. But this time we've got lurkers behind. But is it going to be a Mafia? There's a few. There's quite a few actually.
Yeah,
but there's only one Colossus.
There is only one Colossus. 7 lurkers. It is a pretty healthy count. 5 of them now, but they are starting to group together. Oh, Creator catching a bunch of them while they're on Burrow, though. Does give him a lot of opportunity. I don't think there's detection here for Creator.
Yeah, and a huge Ling run by into the natural as well. Creator's going to be forced to jump on top of these lurkers now, unless he wants to recall, but he gets the base. I'd recall now to get in the base. But yeah. And Creator's DRG's back on 3 bases again.
Huh. Funny how that works. Yeah, Creator now up a base. Starting to lose a bunch of his probes, but he's, funnily enough, not too far behind when it comes to the worker count. Oracles did get sent back home, and they will be able to clean out those Lings. Once again, keep your Oracles alive, Protoss players, in PvZ. If there was one takeaway from today's stream, that would be it.
Keep him going, and he's still got all 3 of them too. But this is where it's going to get really kind of tricky for DRG, because after that Ling run by and losing that 4th base, he has lost a lot of map control. And now, Creator can just deny bases, he can just expand freely. It's really going to be hard for DRG to get some counter damage done, so he's going to have to hunker down, take some bases. As a huge warping comes into the main, as the 3rd gets attacked too. And he's going to just have to solidify and try not to lose his army here.
Yeah, try, of course, being the operating word. Good purification Nova, getting most of those lurkers, but unfortunately, Novas don't do enough damage to one-shot lurkers.
What do you mean, unfortunately? I dare say fortunately.
Fortunately.
Oh,
you know what? I'm with you on that one. Purification
No.
Nova should be nerfed even more.
I mean, when I play team games as Protoss, I feel like they should one-shot lurkers, but that's okay.
Look, if I can one-shot my own army, I should be able to one-shot lurkers with Purification Nova's huge connection with a whole bunch of those Hydras. Colossus in the backline will finally be yoinked forward and dealt with. DRG is starting to bleed out some units, but Creator has lost so much more behind all of this. He has lost Disruptors, 1 Colossus. Everything that Creator has lost is infinitely more expensive than everything that DRG has lost.
This lurker just barely missing the Zealot Warp at the top. If Creator didn't lose so many units, he could probably go for a 2-prong kind of push here. The lurker count's quite low at the moment. Is he going to spot this army? Yes, he does, and push it away. There's so many charge bots here.
Feels bad, man, when you're setting up all of your charge slots and you want to go for a massive run by, only to get caught. Only to get caught.
Yeah, it feels oh, this one lurker being very annoying.
Yeah, the poor Ursidon.
It's gone, but now we see DRG's actually secured his 4th base and he's got a 5th finished as well. Protoss army does take a little bit to rebuild as we see Immortals now coming in. Double Robo, however, is it 2 or 3 Robos? Just a double Robo.
Well,
yeah,
we're
this
about
is
to
a
be
scary
triple
force from
Robo.
DRG. Oh, my base.
Yeah, now Creator's low econ style is really starting to come back and bite him.
Oh my
DRG
gosh.
has been able to defend long enough, has been able to tech up high enough that now he's really able to punish the low-tech army of Creator.
Look, it's an Oracle attacking the base in the bottom right. Still alive, all 3 of them. Nice run by on the right side. These pros at the top being cleaned up too, and it looks like DRG has somehow held on in this game, despite being 3 base versus almost 4 base of the Protoss. And it looks like he might be able to take the first game here, unless Greater brings in a miracle somehow.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to whip that out. Creator going for a huge assault, but DRG just regroups his army and will be able to deal with that. We're at 104 army supply versus 55 for the Protoss. The first Oracle goes down, and that's gonna be the first sign of trouble, if you ask me.
That was terrifying. There's still 2 Oracles out, but yeah, I'm not sure what to really make of this game. I feel like, I mean, it's not over yet. You know, there's still quite a few yeah, a lot of infrastructure for Protoss. So actually, he's down to 3 base. So yeah, that game is over. GG.
GG is called. DRG going to be fighting back here in our best of 5 round 2 match, tying up the series 1-1.
Yeah, he's
Really?
not out. He takes a game.
There we go. Yeah, really good holding out here for DRG. Really good decision making as well. Right at the start of that game, when he recognized just how aggressive Creator wanted to play out the series. Just immediately, I'm going to throw down Infestation Pit. I'm going to try to take up the Hive as quickly as possible. I'm going to get my Lurkers because that is the most resource efficient unit that I can create right now.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the right move to kind of go with. And he, yeah, he really kind of held on. Another thing with like Lurkers is he sacrificed a lot of mobility, but he split his units really well. Defended from multiple sides versus Lurkers. I mean, when you're splitting to defend, like your opponent's attacking from multiple positions as well, right? Which means that their attention is diverted. Creator took a couple of, I want to say, not the greatest kind of fights, and DRG just managed to keep his army, the core of his army intact, and capitalize on it. So,
Yeah. That's some wisdom, multi-pronged wisdom. If you're splitting, your opponent's splitting too.
Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I mean, it is easier to attack than to defend, I want to say, in StarCraft. Otherwise, we wouldn't, see harassment or counter attacks, etc. But a little kind of unknown thought is when your opponent's, information is a resource and attention is a resource. And when you're forcing your opponent to spread their attention in multiple places, sometimes you can capitalize on that. But either way, I digress. Here we go. Yaku, I'm going to let you introduce this player.
Woo! Here we are now, spotting into Solaris, where we're here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left. We have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He is of the old guard. He is one of the oldest players still competing. He and Ryung should really start a club. We have, currently teamless, DRG, the one true dog.
Oh my god, that was perfect. And spawning in the top right position, letting his opponent take a natural for once. Representing team/club NV, our blue Korean Protoss player, it is Creator. And we're getting so good at this now.
Yeah, nailing it. Picture this. DRG, Ryung, Cass, Ben form a old man club together.
Beautiful.
You forgot
Let's do
Dimaga.
it. That sounds wonderful.
I forgot Dimaga.
Who is the oldest active player? Do we know? Like competitive player?
I think. Well, it's kind of difficult to gauge because I don't think he's as active as some of the other players, but I think Bratdock does play in quite a lot
yes.
of online stuff. I guess he's not, as active as someone like Dimaga or DRG, but he's older than them.
He is indeed older than him. But yeah, he's been around for a very long time. A few CIS players have been a lot of them carried over from Brood War as well, so they already had that experience to start with. As we see, you see that?
Oh,
that Cybercore cancelled.
I actually didn't see that, so I'll take your word for it. Well,
he restarted.
Knock it down. Yeah, no starboard this time, huh?
Yeah, he started it and then he cancelled it and then he did nothing and he started again. So I'm not sure what he's I don't know. Mind games. He's mind gaming us.
Exactly.
It's Morse code. These links gonna come in though. Adept gonna force them away. Stay at home. Just don't want to let the scout go off because this is a bit of an interesting opener. We've got a Twilight cancel coming in for Creator.
Yeah, really switching things up compared to how this series opened up with. Skipping out his starport entirely, going to something a little bit more aggressive, I have to say. What are we thinking, Chase? Glaives or Blink?
I want to say Glaives, but because it's Creator, I'm going to say it's probably going to be Blink. It depends on how... This is a very kind of fast build. Glaives, there you go. So yeah, I think maybe looking back to game one, that build was very potent, and maybe he's trying something a little bit faster to take advantage of how that goes. But keep in mind, he had Oracle damage in game number one. Here he's just going straight for a flat build. So we'll have to see how that turns out for him.
Yeah, starting to ramp up the Warp Gate production now as well. Robo Bay finish, and immediately, not going to be wasting any time with an Immortal or with an Observer. Immediately starts that Warp Prism, starts rallying it across the map. That's a lot of gateways.
Is indeed a lot of gateways. We have got a third gas being taken as well, which is strange because you normally don't need these gases unless he's going for either a DT follow-up. He's going to be getting a Mortal after this. Normally you got a Mortal before Warp Prism, so curious to see how he's going to execute this build.
Yeah, regardless of where he goes from here, this is a very, very committed build. If Creator isn't able to do some damage, or at the very least keep DRG on these three bases, he's going to be in a lot of trouble once a counterattack happens.
He will indeed, and we see, all the infrastructure is very close to the main base as well, kind of keeping it out of sight. I don't know if DRG is actually saying he should know that it is going to be a two-base play, because there is no third base starter yet, and it's 5 minutes, but he's actually sending the links across the map. I don't know about this.
Yeah, probably the worst timing here for DRG. Banes are, already produced, already out in the map. Almost caught all of those depths, but thankfully for Creator, he just canceled that shade right at the last minute.
Yeah, and this now, Creator's kind of fully committed, and Bane's coming in! Oh my god. Reasonable trades there. That was really good trades, actually.
Yeah, beautiful connection here for DRG. Creator, his attention was elsewhere for a split second, and you were mentioning it, Chase. Attention is a resource in this game, and if you've got a deficit of it, you're going to lose big.
Yeah, actually kind of shading these depths forward onto the Banes, and no, it's just not going to work out too well. GG's goal.
Oh, you could see it even in the GG there for Creator. Didn't even have time to switch to the Roman alphabet. He knew he messed up. GG. DRG now on match point from a 3-0 ZVP deficit so far this evening. DRG is fighting back really hard and going to be the first player on match point.
He's on it, man. Wow, that was a quick game. So I think Creator's looking for a bit of a quick win, and if there wasn't like Banelings out, you know, he might have been able to do it. But that was just, yeah, that defense was perfectly to plan for DRG.
Absolutely was, yeah. Once
Oh,
again,
man.
that series he played against Nightmare, may have rattled him a little bit as we came into this series, but after game number 1, turns out to have been for the better because DRG is playing out very carefully and very cautiously, and it's working out really well against an aggressive player like Creator.
Yeah, and I kind of want to. I said at the start of the series, DRG does like his Ling Bane. As we see, he's been favoring the Bane kind of defenses for the most part here. But he's actually is quite a solid kind of player when he doesn't get stifled. So if he doesn't lose a lot of workers, if he goes into the mid game feeling pretty comfortable, he's actually a player I want to say is pretty reasonable against a lot of Protoss players. You even seen him put in some good performances against some higher. And doesn't always win, of course, because when you're going up against people like Hero or Max Packs, it's difficult. But I want to say he's pretty solidly sound as long as his early game doesn't get flustered. So I don't know if we just see Creator here trying to throw some, caution to the wind and try and catch him off guard. But I'd be curious to see how he approaches this game. If it's going to be a Blink Stalker all in, if it's going to be a macro player, if it's going to be some sort of cheeky Stargate shenanigans. We'll just have to see how it unfolds.
I agree. As we load into Hard Lead here, which is the smallest map in the current map pool, one with the shortest rush distance as well. Over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom corner of Hard Lead, or possibly Hard Lead, depending on who you ask. Our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea, representing himself as he is currently teamless. We have our one true dong, DRG.
And spawning in the top left position, the Protoss player, currently down 1-2 in this series. Can he bring it back? Representing Club MV, is the blue South Korean Protoss creator.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chase. My eyes are definitely more on Creator in this match. Especially now that he is on the brink of being knocked down to the lower bracket of round 3. Well, we'll do the math at some other point. But yeah, he is on the brink of defeat here in this particular match, and I'm curious as well to see what he throws out here. Creator for quite a while, at least throughout 2022 and 2023, I considered to be the player who had arguably the best PvZ in Korea at the very least. So yeah, we'll see if he has a couple of tricks up his sleeve that he can really whip out against DRG here.
Yeah, we're certainly going to have a look. And I want you to watch this Cybercore, Yaku. It's very important. Okay,
I'm glad you reminded me. Yes.
Okay, watch the Cybercore. So we're going to.
We swear we're not crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to go to DRG's vision. I'm going to see if he notices it, if anything happens. But,
I'll just stay on every vision.
Like you stay on every vision. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Warp gate.
Okay, he sees it started. It gets cancelled. Is he looking? He sees it cancelled.
Looking now.
Oh my god, he's so smart. Stargate going down.
Okay.
I swear we're not crazy. Okay.
Here we have been vindicated.
Oh my god. Okay. Good. Okay, how's that feeling?
Very relieving.
Relieving that,
I
that
feel
I'm
like
not crazy. Thank you.
I feel like I've been gaslighting myself a little bit here. Just questioning my own reality.
Yeah.
But now we know. We know that reality is real.
So DRG, he knows that Warpgate was cancelled, probably a Stargate thrown down, which funnily enough in the last game that didn't happen. But yeah, it gives him a little bit more kind of option, a little bit more awareness of what's going on this game. And the Stalker coming out too, so gonna be looking to deny the scouting here. I might see some Oracles banked up again. Might see something similar to game number 2, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. The Oracles were banking up. Unfortunately, Creator that game had a little bit of a a little bit of a supply block, but it worked out for him in the end because that delayed Oracle actually helped him secure his third base. So, yeah, we're looking to
Certainly
see
did.
a similar strategy here on game number 4.
Imagine if he makes 4 oracles instead of 3 this time.
Oh, that's math.
That is math. It's the best math. But yeah, no, Oracle coming out, DRG just droning. As I mentioned before, interesting to see how he deals with this. That's a pretty fast third base. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, not something that I would have expected at all from a creator here, as you know, so far in the series he has been playing very aggressively, but this time he does grab the Oracle, he does grab the third base, and now he's just looking to secure it as quickly as he can.
Yeah, we did see it's a couple oracles and adepts out right now. The good thing about a third base being that fast is it kind of narrows down. Hey, if a third base is a bit slower than like 4 minutes 10, that means they've dropped some infrastructure in their main base. If it's as fast as say like 350, you know that they've only got the one tech in the main, being the Stargate, which DRG should be aware of after scouting. Is now seeing these oracles coming in. Does have the score for all wonderful. But yeah, I'd say pretty sound opening so far for DRG.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a very good spread of his queens as well. Hotlet is a map where your first 3 bases are a little bit closer together, so he doesn't have to worry too much about moving these queens between bases. Creator has kept his oracles alive, but has only been able to take out 2 drones so far.
Yeah, which is there's a few adepts in the map though. But we see they're coming in. Does he have units here? He's got a few. He's going to push him back with the Zerglings Queens as well. If they get in that choke point, it could be a bit scary though. And yes, they are going to go
into that choke. Yeah, all of these lings do get cleared out, and this leaves every single one of these drones super vulnerable. A creator might just cancel the shade. He doesn't. He does move into that third base location, forces DRG to sort of move his drones back and forth. Oracles are looking for a position where they can pounce, looking for a position where they can pounce on top of these drones, but they haven't quite found them yet. DRG, once again, doing a pretty good job of keeping his lings and his queens together with the drones.
Yeah, no, this was a curious build. You saw it a little bit more often, I want to say, to the early part of last year, where Protoss kind of goes for an adept build without a warp prism. So it's meant to hit hard, but doesn't have a lot of reinforcement power, doesn't have glaives. As we see, these oracles going to be pushed away at the 4th base, rather low. But yeah, expect to see a second Robo coming down. Immortals being built too. This could potentially be a follow-up, a 3-base follow-up here from Creator, but he doesn't have many gateways, so yeah, 4th base going down too.
Yeah, a 3-base follow-up, but with a 4th base going down.
You can't get 4 bases unless you have 3 first, right?
Exactly. Brain power. I gotta tell you, trying to learn Zerg builds is something that messes me up quite a bit in that regard. Because when people say something like 3-base Muta or what have you, it's like, no, you still get that 4th base. You just don't saturate it. So it's technically 3 base.
Yeah. Or it's like 2-base Muta as well if you take the 3rd.
Yeah.
You need the lava, right? Oh, Warp Prism deflected in the main. These Adept's going to be pushed back on the left-hand side too. Creator, DRG is looking pretty solid so far, honestly. But
yeah, whatever.
Phoenix to get this overseer.
Yeah, pretty good investment here from Creator. Gotta say, whatever funk that was on DRG at the start of tonight's evening, at least in the CVP matchup, he seems to be shaking it off quite a bit. He's really tightened things up as this Best of 5 progressed.
He's grown into the night as it's gone on, and this Ling's gonna trigger this stasis here. I think better to grow into a series and then start strong and drop off towards the end. But yeah, if we have a look, gas is being taken immediately at the 4th base by Creator. Warp Prism, Templar Archives researching Storm. It looks like we're going to be in for a bit of a long game here, which is exciting because it's going to really show us, well, actually, there's a few Immortals being pumped out. Maybe it's going to be a push, but expect to see a pretty good game toe-to-toe with both of these players in the late.
I feel like we were owed at least this game going into late tech after that 5 minute game that we just had earlier on.
We certainly were. I agree. It's owed. These players owe us.
As DRG
But always
pounces
high
on
tempo.
top of these. Ooh. Yeah, pounces on top of these stasis wards before they can really finish up. Those High Templar were looking very vulnerable for a second, but thankfully for Creator, he was able to keep them hidden or huddled between his immortals. DRG forced to back off.
Yeah, this is actually it's not a huge army from Creator. I feel like some Banes mixed in would be pretty difficult to kind of deal with. It's a bit smushy looking, but there is lurkers out now, and as the time goes on and Creator maxes out, as we have another half the army coming, this is this is a pretty scary anti-ground army, right? This is High Templar Immortal Archon.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
geez.
has a lot of punch to this army has a lot of punch to it, you know. The High Templar are a little bit squishy, like you said. I would be they're
Both
definitely
Robo's
vulnerable
being
to
detailed.
lurkers, but yeah, that was a huge Artosis pylon that just got taken out, and these roaches are absolutely
front
cleaning
line.
up house here.
And a really good concave here from DRG. Zealot run by towards the triangle third base, gonna get stopped as well, as these lurkers are now gonna get hit from both sides. Another link run by into the natural, but these lurkers gonna have to push back. The natural Creator is compromised, and this is intense, Yaku.
Very, very much so. Creator just going full base trade right now. He has no recall on his mind at the moment. He's actually trying to build Void Race right now to try to deal with the roaches that are in his base. Good zoning storm, but Creator's army is still very, very badly battered throughout all of this. Archons are looking pretty vulnerable to a concave, not gonna lie, Chase.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, DRG is playing this fantastically, because if you're playing against Lurker and you're gonna be forced to attack, it's not gonna be a good time. But we do have to say Creator is still a favorite. He's got 2 oracles, and we both know how good oracles are. He's gonna clean this up. Did lose both Robos though, and that was quite scary, but just in time he's going for a Stargate transition, so not the scariest.
Yeah, really, he needed to lose those Robos. You know,
He
they
needs
don't cost
Robos
supply,
anyway.
but they cost real estate, so...
They do indeed. I mean, why do you think these units are in the sky? It's because they can't land, because there's too many immortals in the ground.
Couldn't get anything landed. Meanwhile, a huge counterattack from Creator. Huge feedbacks on these Vipers. It took me a second to get there. Huge feedbacks on those Vipers, preventing much, but yeah, lurkers are already across the map. Writing was already on the wall. GG, DRG, gonna take the series 3-1. A huge reversal from how this evening started for him.
Yeah,
Wow.
gosh, what a series that was, man. It's been all
Yeah,
over the
I'd
place.
say so. A huge
I do
back
want
and
to say,
forth. Mhm.
I was just gonna say, I think you observed that very well, Yaku, towards the end. There's stuff happening everywhere. It's hard to keep up, but yeah, well played DRG. He played that, a lot of the time when you go lurker, the lurkers aren't actually the hammer that kind of wins you the game. It's the other stuff you do, and they give you that safety net that you can get away with because you've got a strong defense at home.
Yeah, you're telling me. As someone who dropped maybe 200 MMR, because I couldn't figure out how to deal with lurkers.
Only
Yeah,
200.
Well, I'm being, I might not want to admit just how far I've fallen.
So if I only lost 200 lurkers, 200 MMR versus lurkers, I'd be a happy player. But they are very scary. They are indeed.
Yeah, definitely. DRG had, I mean, like we just mentioned throughout the series, it just really tightened things up as the evening went on. Just really figured out what was going wrong with him, what his weaknesses were, and was very quick to fix them mid-series. I will say, the actual score that we've gotten tonight doesn't really reflect how close the games themselves actually were, except for game number 3, which was just kind of a throw by Creator, but Yeah, overall, a very nice back and forth PvZ that we've gotten here.
Yeah, it certainly was. It's good to see DRG move on up and continue in this tournament. As we saw Shin, I wonder what's happened with Shin. I'm going to exclamation mark B. I won't forget the B this time. Oh no, wait, bracket's already in there. Thank you, Kenny Tennyson. But yeah, it looks like we have got the results, Yaku. Mondo lost 3-0 to Shin, so he will be playing Creator next, I believe.
Yeah, we have that confirmation. That is going to be the lower bracket of round 3. That will be held a little bit. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that's going to be held or if Inu wants to get on that. But regardless, we still have the upper bracket of round 2 to go with. Both of them, are going to be TVPs. We are going to be covering Cure versus Nightmare. Inu going to be covering Hero versus Quanta.